Today I'm canning green beans. This variety is called Strike. They're an open pollinated variety and they're stringless. As you can see, they are very productive. If you're not familiar with green beans, some have strings in them that you need to remove before cooking them. Not these, they're stringless, so all I did to them was remove the stem end and snap them into bite-sized pieces. I leave the bloom end on, but some folks remove it. Since I'm canning a lot of beans today, I'm using my turkey roaster to heat my jars. I'm using a bacon rack in the bottom, which has had the corners trimmed off of it so that the jars can sit on them. This is a big help as it frees up a burner on my stove so that I can run 2 canners at a time. After the beans have been snapped and washed, I put them into a pot and covered them with water. Then I boiled them for 5 minutes. I had my jars hot and ready and my lids and rings at a simmer, so now I'm ready to can. I took a hot jar and I filled it with beans, leaving 1 inch of headspace. Then I added a half teaspoon of salt, and that's optional. Then I added the liquid the beans had been boiled in, leaving 1 inch of headspace. I removed the air bubbles with a non-metallic object, wiped the rim of the jar clean. I added a hot lid, a hot ring, and I tightened it firmly. I set the jar back in the turkey roaster to stay warm until I had all of the jars full. Once all of the jars were full, I transferred them to my pressure canner. Green beans must be pressure canned. I added water to my canner, put the lid on, and followed the manufacturer's directions for my canner. I processed the beans at 10 pounds pressure for 20 minutes. If I was canning quarts, it would be for 25 minutes, and if I lived at a high altitude, then I would need to adjust the pressure to suit my altitude. When the processing time was complete, I turned off the heat and let the canner sit for at least 30 minutes. I carefully removed the lid and placed the jars on a towel on the counter to cool. The next day, I removed the rings, washed the jars, wrote green beans on the top and the date that I canned them. So that's how I can green beans. I hope it helps.